Hey everyone, Kevin Gesme here, back with another landmark film review. I just got back from the Oriental Theater where I saw the 2018 live action shorts program. Every year, the Oriental Theater gets the Academy Award nominated live action and animated short film programs. We're going to run through the live action ones here. Check out my other video for the animated reviews. We're going to throw up spoilers because it's kind of hard to talk about short films without just saying what the plot is. I'm going to run through these in the order that they were screened to me. So this isn't a worst to best list. This is just how I saw them. First up is DeKalb Elementary. This was a super tense, edge of your seat white knuckler, just all the cliches. Based on an actual 911 call down in Atlanta, Georgia from an elementary school. The film is about a school shooting, or what at least could have been a school shooting had it not been for the bravery of the receptionist working that day. As the film progresses along, we learn that the motivation of the shooter is not to actually shoot up the school, but he has more of a interest in killing cops on that day and eventually in the process taking his own life. He's mentally unstable. There's a little bit of Stockholm syndrome hanging out with this character as you sympathize with the receptionist. She's just out here saving all the lives. She's trying to make sure that none of the cops get hurt, none of the kids get hurt, that the shooter doesn't hurt himself. It's just a super strong performance from her. The film ends with the receptionist talking the shooter into giving himself up to the cops, and once everything breaks, I found that I was holding my breath the whole time, and it's just an excellent 20 minutes of tension. Second film up was The Silent Child. This one was made to raise awareness for the lack of resources in schools provided for children who are hard of hearing or just deaf. It's probably my favorite of the films that got screened. It's about a family that hires an aide to help their deaf daughter get ready to go into school. The aide starts by teaching her sign language and lip reading, and the mother ends up feeling that this is not a useful process for the kid. You end up learning through the film that the child actually isn't the mother's, that it is the father's from a extramarital affair. So there's this little bit of tension, you see that the mother cares, but at the same time, you're kind of hinted at that she doesn't care as much as maybe she would if it were actually just her kid. After the mother and the aide get in an argument on what's best to get the child ready for school, she ends up firing the aide and just putting her child into school the very next day. And over the course of the film, you see the kid open up out of her shell. She's super shy in the beginning and then super interested in interacting with everyone throughout the film, and then it ends with her again reserved and closed off, and it's just a heartbreaking movie. And yeah, I definitely think it's probably my favorite of the five. Third up was My Nephew Emmett, based on the true story of the 1955 murder of Emmett Lewis Till. We follow Moses Wright, the man who is the guardian to a young Emmett Lewis. We watch as Moses Wright tries to stop two racists who are out to kill Emmett for looking at and whistling at a white woman, a woman who ends up being one of the wives of one of the two men trying to kill Emmett. Now, modern respect for women aside, whistling at a white woman shouldn't be a death penalty, but that's the racist tension that's there in 1955 Mississippi. You watch as Moses struggles and he goes through all of the ranges of emotions. He doesn't want to lose his own life or have any of his other family harmed in this process, but he's also trying to save the life of this kid. And he is just a kid. The film starts off with Moses showing Emmett how to get ready to go out on a night on the town, like it's his first time ever going out to hang out with anyone. The film ends by transitioning to the real life newsreel interview with Moses, and it's more hurt and heartbreak. And you really get great performances here out of everyone. And in This one is probably the best acted of the bunch. Fourth movie screen was the 11 o'clock. This one was the shortest of the 5 and was the only comedy of the 5. It's about a psychiatrist whose patient for the day thinks he's a psychiatrist. And it really reminded me a lot of an old vaudeville misunderstanding sketch, sort of like a Who's on First. And while the twist is who's really the doctor and who's really the patient, it's kind of obvious. Just to get the joke that lands best, it has to end up being a certain way. Quick dialogue, it's super funny. And it's just as long as it needs to be. I think if it would have been any longer, it might have gotten a little grating. And it was a lighthearted reprieve from watching these 3 super intense dramas that had preceded it. I really enjoyed it. The last film screened was the film Watu Wote, or All of Us, based on the 2015 Mandera bus attack. Watu Wote follows a Christian woman as she makes her way up to see her sick mother. Her bus is filled with Muslim individuals, and she has a bit of a hang-up with this as we find out that Muslim terrorists were responsible for the death of her husband and child. When their bus is ambushed by the Muslim militant group Al-Shabaab, her Muslim passengers take it upon themselves to hide her amongst the group, knowing that if they found a Christian woman, like, she would just be dead on the spot. One of the Muslim men actually end up giving his life. Protecting her. This is really a simplified version of the plot, but after this one, I can tell you there just wasn't a dry eye in the house. Like, there was audible sobbing going on at the end of this film. Fantastic acting, a little simple on the moral of the story, but when you kind of rip something like this from the headlines, sometimes simpler works better than getting super complex with it. And that's the 5 films. 5 out of 5s for all of them. I love short films. I'm really sad that we don't get more of them played before feature-length films. If you have the chance, go out and catch these. I highly recommend it. I've been Kevin Gesme, and this has been the Landmark Film Review. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching. Check over here for my reviews of the animated films. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps me out. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when I post a new video. Comment down below and let me know if you've seen these and how much you enjoy short movies or short films. You know, just shorts in general.